Hey rollers! First, I want to thank my awesome subscribers. I love making these videos and responding to your comments. This week's video is of the no frills variety. No flashy intro, movie clips, or special effects. Just an old-fashioned narrated roll. So, let's go. I could feel my opponent's strength as we fought for grips. He was first to get a collar grip, and he used it to steer me around and eventually scoop up a single leg. When I knew he was taking me down, I used both hands to pull down on his head in an effort to set up a triangle. He switched to a double underpass, and I turtled and grabbed at one of his legs, driving forward in an effort to take him down. He was working some kind of an attack on my right arm, so I was being careful while I figured out what to do while my head was buried in this weird position. I fell onto my left hip so I could shake off his hook, control his legs, and come up to side control. My opponent wisely didn't let me control his head, and now it was his turn to grab a leg and drive forward for a takedown. I was distracted with ideas of tying up his neck, but I had nothing. I should have been more active during this transition instead of letting him settle into strong side control. I trapped his right leg at the same time as framing on his neck. I tried that nifty hook and roll reversal, but he based out well and maintained a strong top half guard position. He had an underhook on the far side, but I fought his attempts to control my head. I would much rather have an opponent with two arms on my left side in this situation instead of giving up an underhook and head control. I was set up to try another hook and roll reversal, but he maintained his base once again. I'll fast forward these moves that are too cool for YouTube. I established a lockdown, but he had a strong underhook on my left side, so I couldn't get a whip up or start working out to the side. Meanwhile, he was using his left foot as a wedge to open up my half guard. His patience paid off when he was able to open up my half guard and start stepping through. That began a scramble that ended up with him in my closed guard. If you've watched the last couple of videos, you'll recognize these movements as a setup for an armbar or a triangle. I controlled his posture with a cross collar grip, cut a strong angle, and then I committed to an armbar. When he pulled his arm out, I was ready to transition to a triangle. Unfortunately, he used the opening to circle around my guard, forcing me to turtle. One of my favorite moves from turtle is to secure his arm, in this case his left arm, and try to roll him over to the left. This time though, I sensed his weight was too far back, so I surprised him by wrapping up his legs and turning on top. He didn't let me sink in control, pushing me quickly back into his guard. You can see fatigue setting in for both of us. I had my hands on his biceps, which is perfect for me because I had inside position. Oh, until then, he circled out, getting my hand on the mat and then overwrapping my right arm. This is bad news for me, as a huge menu of sweeps and subs opened up for him. I couldn't pull it out, but I stood up and started pushing through his guard to the left. At this point, my trapped arm became an underhook. I reached over his head and grabbed a chin strap grip. My right leg was trapped, and I was worried about him turning into me and taking top position. I got even more concerned when he was able to get an underhook. In an effort to improve my position, I decided to climb into mount, but I fell into an X-guard sweep. I still had triangle on the mind, and I caught one as I got swept. My cameraman must have been pretty excited, or maybe he was falling asleep, but when he found us, I had a triangle on. My opponent had already slipped through a couple of my triangle attempts, so I was careful to make a few adjustments and lock it up for the finish, thus ending this back and forth battle. If you enjoy my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.